Good evening, my name is Sandy Golden. I'm president of Beaches Watch. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. For those of you who may not be familiar with Beaches Watch, we are a nonpartisan, nonprofit civic organization here at the beaches, and our focus is educating and engaging citizens in the issues that impact the quality of life here at our beaches. So tonight's topic is a really, really relevant one. So we look forward to our speakers talking to us tonight. But before we do, I hope everybody picked up an agenda when you came in. It has some information that we hope you'll take home with you, and it also has on the back the contact information for all the elected officials at the beaches. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know how to get in touch with them. Before we get started, let me introduce some of the people we have here tonight. We have some elected officials with us. We have Jacksonville Councilwoman Chris Hoffman, who just walked in. We have Neptune Beach Mayor Harry Pruitt. Neptune Beach City Councilwoman Kara Tucker. We also have Jackie Smith, who is with Congressman Andrew Crenshaw's office. And have I missed anybody else? Any other electeds? We have Andy Hyatt, who is the city manager for Neptune Beach. Okay, so thank you all for coming. Real quick, just a reminder, we do videotape our meetings, so if there was anybody you know that wasn't able to be here, they can go to the website. We have it on the agenda here, and they can see the meeting. Also, there are some meetings coming up that we hope you'll plan to try to go to. There's an FDOT meeting tomorrow from 4 to 7, and it's going to be at the Jacksonville Beach Community Center. And it's going to be talking about the drainage improvements for 3rd Street, A1A. And then in Atlantic Beach on June 17th at 9 a.m. there's a groundbreaking ceremony for the new public safety building. I'm sure Chief Deal is excited about that. And also there's a Mayport Road redevelopment plan survey that's online. So we encourage you to go online and take that survey. There's the website where you can find that. In Jacksonville Beach on June 6th, they're at 7 o'clock at the City Council meeting. There's a Home Depot request for product display and sales outside of their business, and so that's an issue that the City Council is going to be voting on Monday night. And then also want to remind everybody that municipal elections are coming up. If you are interested in running for office, there's still time. I know we have some candidates here who don't want anybody to Qualifying is from June 20th through June 24th. And there is information. There are the websites on here where you can get information about the candidates that have filed to run for both Neptune Beach and Jacksonville Beach seats. So that's on your agenda as well. And then just want to let you know that our July meeting is not going to be the first Wednesday of July because it's so close to July 4th. It's kind of hard for people to get out to a meeting. So, and we also have scheduled a really good meeting, and it's going to be actually Wednesday, July 27th at 7 p.m. Mayor Lenny Curry and Councilman Bill Gulliford will be coming out to the beach. We'll have it at the Fletcher High School auditorium, and they will be talking about the half-cent sales tax that's been proposed. I know there's a lot of questions about how this affects the beaches, and so this would be a great opportunity to come out and ask questions of Mayor Curry and of Bill Gulliford as well. So we hope you guys will come out. We hope you'll tell people about it as well, because we would love to have a great turnout. It's an important issue, and people need to understand about it before they vote. So that is Wednesday, July 27th at 7 p.m. All right, do we have any other announcements before we go to our speakers? Okay, so tonight we have the 3 beach police departments, and they are here to talk to us tonight about the Memorial holiday and how that went, and then their plans for July 4th. And we know July 4th is always a big one. So I'd like to introduce, we have from Neptune Beach, we have Chief Pike, From Atlantic Beach, we have Chief Deal. And from Jacksonville Beach, we have Commander Evans. So tonight, because we are in Neptune Beach, Chief Pike said he wanted to be the host and start the whole thing. And he has lots of fun things to talk about, like shark bites and everything. So we're going to turn the mic over to Chief Pike. And if you would, hold your questions until all the three speakers have had an opportunity to talk, and then we'll open the floor to questions. Chief.
Thank you, Sandy. My name is Richard Pike. I've been with the Neptune Beach Police Department for 31 years. 4 months ago, I was fortunate enough to be promoted to Chief of Police. And we've had we've made a lot of changes with the help of the city manager and the council. We've made a lot of improvements in the right direction in the Neptune Beach Police Department.
Chief, would you grab the microphone?
Yes, sir. We have made a lot of improvements in the police department in the last 4 months, and it headed in a different direction. But going back to Memorial Day, Tuesday morning, City Manager and I met with Captain Rich Banks of the Neptune Beach Lifeguards and had a briefing on the shark bite incident that occurred on Sunday afternoon. And I could talk about it for 30 minutes, but I'm going to sum it up. The lifeguards did an unbelievable job. The police department responded, did an unbelievable job. Jack's Fire Rescue Engine 55 and Rescue 55 responded, did an unbelievable job. It was a very unfortunate incident. However, it had a great outcome. The young man is seriously hurt. He's looking forward to several operations on his right leg. He was bit at the knee, the back of the calf a couple of times, which was described as by Captain Banks as a laceration or a tear that went basically down to the bone, and they had some damage to his ankle as well. But everybody came together. The lifeguard, which is one of her first weekend sitting after receiving her training, was in her 3rd year of nursing school and just finished internship at Shands Trauma Center. So he was in good hands. The second that happened, he was in good hands. And the police officers that went to that on the next day that took on their time to visit him, the Neptune Beach police officers that went to visit him at Shands the next day, it was just, everybody did a great job, and I'm very thankful to them and very proud of everybody that was involved. The beachgoers, if there was one problem they had down there, so many people wanted to help, but that all worked out. And we got the young man up to Neil Boulevard ramp with the with the assistance of Jack's Fire Rescue, and he was transported to Shands, and he's still there as far as I know. And like I said, he's a 13-year-old young man, and he's looking at several surgeries still on that leg to get it right. And anyway, we're on the workshop meeting. We're having an Neptune Beach on the 20th of June. I'm going to try to, if the young man can make it, we're going to try to present him with a bravery award and then several awards for the lifeguards and some of the patrons that were helped out initially. We're going to try to do an award ceremony. So looking forward to that. And but back to Memorial Day, Captain Banks also told us that it was the busiest day. He's been the lifeguard captain, I believe, for about 15 plus years. The busiest Memorial Day that he remembers in the past 15 years as far as So we did have a really busy weekend as far as the participation for Memorial Day in Neptune Beach, and we did extra staffing. We had our new bike unit. We just purchased some bikes with some forfeiture money, and had the officers outfitted and trained down there to work east of 3rd Street for the weekend, and we had some extra patrols on the beach, so it did go smooth. We sent 3 officers to Jack's Beach to help them out Sunday, and 3 officers on Monday to assist them with their large crowd there. But it did go smooth in Neptune Beach. We did have a lot of people there that unfortunately it went without a lot of incident. We're moving on to July 4th now, and we borrowed our Sky Tower. We borrowed a Sky Tower from the base. I don't know if you were at the dance Dancing in the Streets event. You saw Sky Tower, we brought it for that too. And basically, we're still unsure. We're going to put it somewhere between Florida Boulevard to Margaret Street, south of Margaret Street, somewhere there where we can have full visibility of the First Street area. It's going to be a great help, and we're looking forward to that. But we've also hiring some Jacksonville police officers, and this year I've added an additional several Jacksonville Reserve officers, which is no cost to the city of Jacksonville or Neptune Beach. They have monthly requirement of hours, and we're going to use them for some of our traffic and transportation needs. And but we are doing some things different on First Street. We're going to have some stationary posts instead of officers roaming, constantly driving back and forth, and which didn't work. And I was very frustrated with that for the last several years as a sergeant over a squad. When some of the officers would just basically try to avoid it. And that's not where you need to be. We need to be enforcing and keeping the crowds down, keeping people moving, and dealing with the party situations that happen on First Street. Because as you know, if you've ever seen it, there's literally tens of thousands of people living on First Street in Neptune Beach that day, and that's not an exaggeration. There's anything that rolls other than cars is on coolers, bikes, scooters, anything with a motor that rolls is fair game moving down First Street. So it is, we do want it to be a great celebration, but we have to set some limits there, and we're going to do that this year. So we're hoping that goes smooth, and we look forward to it. And we're moving forward in the Neptune Beach Police Department with the support of Mr. Hyatt, the mayor, and the city council. Every need that I've asked for safety for the residents or safety for the police officers, no stops. And I greatly appreciate that, and the officers within and women in the Neptune Beach Police Department. We greatly appreciate their support. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening. Thank you for inviting me back this year. Certainly a pleasure to be here. My name is Michael Beal, I'm the Chief of Police of the Lang Beach Police Department. And yes, we have a groundbreaking coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're really excited about this. They've been trying before I got there to build a new police department for about 14 years. And it finally is becoming a reality. And I want to show my appreciation to the commission and all the citizens that showed a lot of support for that and getting that done finally. So we're excited about it. You're more than welcome to come to our groundbreaking. And hopefully in about 10 months, they say 10 months, it might be a year, we'll be in our new facility. So Memorial Day weekend certainly was busy for us as well. Over the entire weekend, including Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday, we responded to 246 calls for service. Most of those, or most of the things that kept us busy were parking violations and parking complaints. So I think over the weekend we ended up responding to 71 different illegally parked cars and writing a bunch of tickets. So, but we did have extra officers on duty. We had an extra officer on the day shift and an extra officer on evening shift, primarily to address the parking complaints, because they're pretty much non-stop during the weekend. So that is, again, I think we had 4 people on total day shift and 5 people on evening shift, which again would be 1 more officer per shift than we normally have staffed on the weekend. We also had, over the weekend, we had an armed robbery at McDonald's, 2 masked gunmen early Sunday morning. We had another armed robbery at one of our parks, Tide Views, and a couple other crimes, and of course we had a motorcycle fatality on Mayport Road at 10th Street over the weekend. So we had a lot of other things that were associated with Memorial Day that kept us busy and kept us running. But overall, I think it was crowded, but I think the people that came to the beach to enjoy the beach and enjoy the holiday behaved themselves. They had a good time. They dealt with the heat and dealt with the traffic issues that we have typically, and I think it was successful. I was going to mention, dancing in the streets that we had a couple weeks ago. I also want to acknowledge Neptune Beach Police Department. We worked collectively on that event, which again, is a crowded event, and I would kind of say that that event also went well. The crowd there, unlike last year, the crowd was much more behaved this year, subdued. I think we had much less fights and intoxicated people that we had in previous years. And I think it's a credit to the Neptune Beach Police Department and the Lang Beach Police Department for the presence we had out there. Something we did different this year was closing down Lang Boulevard and 3rd Street, which I had a lot of positive comments. I don't know if you did, Chief.
Yes, sir.
A lot of positive comments with that. So that event went really well, we think, on that. So as far as 4th of July, again, we're gonna increase our staffing this year versus what we had last year. We had a lot of issues with people coming into our city and looking for parties or looking for places to go, and not really finding any. So this year we're going to put a big wall up on Lang Boulevard. So to keep the citizens our way, we're going to say turn around. There's no parties at Lang Beach. But seriously, we're going to have more options to handle that because we do get those people who are moved along on 1st Street, and they need to be moved along, and they can't go back south, so they end up going north, and we have to deal with it there. So it's not a real big problem. Just again, it's traffic issues that we have to deal with, and we'll have additional manpower this year out there to address that. Other than that, I think we anticipate it being a good event, a successful event like last year. I don't see any problems at all.
Excellent. I don't know how well this is going to work with the microphone. But this is my first time speaking with you. My name is Mark Evans. I'm a commander of the Jacksonville Beach Police Department. I've been there 27 years. I've been there since I was probably 8 years old. I'm still there. I'm the commander over the operations and control. As far as Memorial Day weekend, we planned for it. We like to think that we were very prepared for it. And with our calls, our calls were definitely up. We had an extremely large number of visitors, as the other two chiefs said, as far as for Saturday and Sunday and on Memorial Day itself. A little bit about our scheduling. The way we work with our scheduling is we had additional officers on Saturday, Friday night, Saturday. Sunday we ran a modified command post out of 4th Avenue North and 2nd Street, which is one of the city lots that we normally occupy during some of the larger festivals and downtown activities. And with that, we ran pretty much our entire agency, along with, we had multiple officers from JSO. I think we ended up having about 12 total. We had some Neptune Beach officers as well. As far as our patrol, we don't take from our neighborhood patrols. We supplement those with some of our additional patrol officers, and then we do relocate several of our extra resources east of A1A because obviously that's where the majority of the people are. I will tell you that on, and it didn't include Friday, but on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we had a total of 813 calls for service. We wrote 98 incident reports, which basically if an officer arrives and there's a crime that took place in which requires a report to be written, we wrote 98 reports, and we had 37 people that actually took a ride to the hotel downtown. So, and believe it or not, from what I was able to pull, it looks like our arrests were definitely down. But there again, our officer presence was high. We were fortunate enough, the way our scheduling works, our schedules, we work 5 days on and 4 days off in patrol. And on your trip, you come in on a Wednesday, it's basically a 6-day work trip. I'm not asking them. The only reason I'm telling you all this is because it actually, the stars aligned, and on Monday, it was actually what we call a training day. So it was actually a work day where both groups were already working. So for us, for Memorial Day, other than the pay being higher, because it's a holiday, that was a regular work day for all of our officers. So we were able to work that on the regular day. With that being said, I manned the command post on Sunday from around 10 o'clock in the morning. I finally got out there around 11 o'clock that night. We also worked with the Duval County Jail, and we have a driver from the jail that comes out, and he pretty much posts with us at our command post, and we transport for all the beaches in case there's an issue where we need to get people downtown. Because you got to remember, when we make an arrest, we take someone all the way down to Duval County Jail. Not only does the officer have drive time there and back, but we've got the processing as well as the traffic for the officers to get back. So with Jackson Sheriff's Office sending us that correctional officer, that really that helps to keep more officers on the street, to keep them on their posts, so we can keep everybody safe. The way we worked it this year is Commander Smith and I, we kind of got together and we, with Sergeant Smith, who was with our downtown Cape, and we come up with a plan, and we had multiple officers in vehicles and on foot, but we did have a plan in place that if something really bad did happen, we had an emergency, we had basically a call that we would put out, and then we had fixed posts where those officers would go to, so we would know where our resources were. Again, I believe it went very well. I don't know how many of you came down there on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. I'm here to tell you on Sunday, as I drove through the area, it was extremely packed. The beaches, the ocean front, the parking, and all in all, it was a good crowd. I mean, it's summer, it's Memorial Day, we have a beautiful beach, we have the resource there, so people are going to come out and enjoy it. And they did on Sunday, I'm here to tell you. Plus it was hot. It was hotter than it had been in the past, it was a couple of weeks. As far as normally what we see in Jack's Beach is as the evening comes on, as the sun goes down, our crowd might change a little bit. That's the reason we kept the majority of our officers. We do have extra officers on in the morning and through the beginning of the afternoon. The majority of them did come in the late afternoon because we want to make sure we have coverage for the when the sun goes down, it starts to get dark, and especially at bar closing time. I'm proud to say that we didn't have any major events. We had a couple of stolen vehicle recoveries where people were actually stole the cars from in town. They were out and our officers were able to find them. We made an arrest, and we were able to get the vehicles recovered. 2 separate incidents completely. We did have 3 weapons that were taken off of arrestees. So the weapon elements are there. That's why a lot of times when you look and we have a lot of officers, and we have a crowd this size, we know the elements are going to be there, so we have to be prepared for it so we can keep everybody safe. The last thing we want to do is have to cancel people's leave and vacation and have them come in and work these holiday weekends. But when they sign up to work at the police department, at a beach, in Florida, when we make our hiring process, we make sure that they're aware that we're going to be working these holidays. Monday, Commander Smith had the command post on Monday. I came down later in the afternoon, and it was a lot of people. I don't know, anybody come down there Monday afternoon? Probably not. I was there. There was a lot of people. We do have one of the techniques that we do is we just flood the area with officers. We're also obviously looking for on-site violations as well as calls for service. Our calls for service were pretty much down, but one reason we have to attribute that to is because we had so many officers on First Street. The traffic between Beach Boulevard all the way up about 7th Avenue North was bumper to bumper, very slow moving. Officers are on segways, bicycles, and walking. When they see a violation, they don't have to be in a car to pull the car over. They actually walk right up to the car. That's how we made several of our drug arrests and a couple of our other charges, is because the officers are on foot right there in the area. However, when there's so many people there, we do have to sometimes maybe put a block on First Street between 1st and 4th Avenue North just to break up some of the cruising so we can get people off of First Street. Because if we did have an event down there, we wouldn't be able to get an emergency vehicle down there with that many vehicles. This year, the traffic, the parking complaints, we always are traditionally heavy on parking complaints on the extreme south end, down around 32nd Avenue South, all the way to the county line. This year, we saw a lot of people. I saw myself, a lot of people parking in the parking lots west of A1A near the Home Depot and around Pablo, the old Pablo Shopping Center, and walking over to the beach. So I'm here to tell you, I don't know what the official number is, I don't even know how we would get it, but I'm here to tell you there's a lot of people out. All in all, we feel our weekend was very much a success. Our guys and gals did an outstanding job. I actually sent a letter out to all of our officers and copied our city manager. A couple of residents actually took note from a couple of the condos and saw the amount of the officers that were out there and complimented the officers on the type of job and dealing with some of the crowds. It was actually a really nice look. So we like to see those things. We're out there, we want to see that we're making a difference, and we like to really feel that we did. As far as our 4th of July plan, usually 4th of July is our bigger holiday. I'm here to tell you, Memorial Day is foreshadowing of what 4th of July is going to be. We're definitely going to have the officers out, the people out. So we obviously will have all of our officers out. Usually we get officers from the sheriff's office as well as can't really take from the other beaches for the 4th of July because everybody's dealing with their own issue. We do have a commitment that we will have at least 1, possibly 2 correctional officers from the sheriff's office. And again, it may not sound like a big deal to you guys, but I'm here to tell you, when you got 2 or 3 prisoners going, we can put them all in a van and get 1 correctional officer to get them downtown and get back without having to take our officers on the street for a couple of hours. That's something that we really take pride in. It really helps us out a lot. Traditionally, what we do is we have the van housed at our command post at 4th and 2nd, and when the other beaches have prisoners, they can get those prisoners over to us because we all use the same docket, we all use the same jail, and we'll load theirs up with ours so we get them down so these guys can keep their officers on the street to protect the citizens as we do. Other than that, we're working on the schedule for 4th of July. It's going to be pretty much a modified schedule of what we just had. And again, it worked very well, so we're ready for it. That's it. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, indeed.
And it's for all of you probably, but maybe Commander Evans. One of the things I noted, because I did go down to the beach, and the tide was high, and I just checked July 4th, it's going to be absolute high tide when the fireworks are going off at 9 o'clock. So what are you planning to do to deal with that? Because I think that's probably going to complicate things, because I saw that the lifeguards couldn't run their trucks on the beach. You didn't see any of the ATVs on the beach because there were just so many people.
We did have we did have ATVs on the beach as long as we could keep them on the beach safely. As far as with the high tide, what we normally have done, because not only as the tide comes up, not only does that take away part of the beach, but it also separates our beach, because now if you do have to get a vehicle down there, you can't get underneath the pier, because the higher up on the beach, obviously, the trucks and our vehicles and some of our ATVs won't even fit up underneath the pier. Depends on how high it comes. So our main concern with that is to keep people, what we had to do this past weekend was our walkovers that go over, I believe there's about 10 of them. People congregate on those walkovers. We walk out there and we tell people to keep moving, don't stand on the walkovers. We don't want to keep them, obviously they can't go through the dunes or through the oaks either. So basically all we have to do is we just have to basically educate them and tell them to keep moving, because what happened over the weekend is a couple of walkovers, there were so many people, nobody else could get on there. So we had to go there and clean. We actually evacuated and cleaned off those walkovers. And we posted officers at those walkovers. We're going to have to just deal with the surf, because there's going to be a lot of people on the beach. It's not working.
Okay. I talked to our lifeguard captain this week, and he mentioned that as well, that, it was a short beach, and it was really packed in. One of the issues that they had was they needed to get the truck on the beach, and they had used different beaching zones, and they had difficulty getting it in that end zone. So we got to work on that, but that's a topic that we have to discuss and prepare for appropriately, because it is an issue. We're packed in a short beach, so we got to be able to get to the people and get your people around. So good observation.
Yeah, same thing. We in Neptune Beach from Florida south into Jackson Beach is packed. Last year, I think the year before last, we had a missing child and basically parked at Cedar Street, down to Cedar, and it was packed. So it is going to create a huge problem. Basically, there's not a lot of beach stuff in the washout of the sand. So
have to keep in mind when we talk about when the depression hits, then the water has to go somewhere, and the natural place for it to go is up. So the high tide this past weekend was a whole lot higher than a normal high tide. If we all pray for not a full moon and no tropical depression, then there's automatically going to be at least a little more beach and high tide. That's going to be left. But, you know, that caused a huge difference in changing the tides in Friday and Saturday nights.
Chief Peck actually came in with the question that you answered, which was about the driving of the police cars up and down First Street. To me, it just creates so much more congestion and bottleneck and probably safety issues as well. And what can you really see that you're looking for from the inside of the police car? So I'm really glad to hear that modification. But then the question that I have now is, from the sky towers, and this is for Commander Evans too, what can you really see from that height, or what are you guys looking for from that high? I'm sure you're radioing to people on the ground who can deal with issues, but what are the triggers? What are they looking for from up there that they might see on First Street? You know, during 4th of July, dancing in the streets. We've been using it a lot in Jack's Beach. What are they trained to look for?
This is our first time. I know Commander Evans, they've been using it with great success for years. And we got one from the base, as I said, we put it right there in the middle of the dancing in the streets. And it goes 35 feet up in the air. And it's just, you know, a perfect 360-degree view of everything. Now, we can put it, you know, as you know, First Street bends and crescents as it goes through Neptune Beach. So, thank you. So we can definitely use it somewhere. We're going to get it a couple of days before the 4th, or a couple of days before the 4th of July weekend, and set it at several different locations and lift it and lower it to see what the best advantage is. But we, you know, if you live in Neptune, if you've been down First Street on the 4th of July, it's an absolute mess. It's like I said, there's literally tens of thousands of people on bikes and walking and everything, and it's just, you know, when they start accumulating, gathering up, parties start, you know, and that's when we're able to have an officer up there and say, hey, you know, we got a large crowd at Davison first, you know, we need to get those broke up, you know, it's overflowing out of the house roads in the morning.
Okay, so just
You know, you got to fight them, and we get numerous fights, of course, up and down First Street, especially later on in the afternoon, so, you know.
Chief, we also wanted it to be a deterrent. We think it serves more as that there is an eye in the sky.
Yeah, there is not, yes, just like Mr. Hyde said, it is, and we had numerous comments about that, you know, because it has a recording system in it, and
A recording system?
yes, ma'am, yeah, it has a video recording system in it, so we can utilize, and but that's basically, you know, we are going to move it around, find out what the best spot, and more than likely going to be somewhere between Florida Boulevard and Market Street, and then lift it fully extended, and you know, to help us out with that.
It's really a force multiplier. I mean, we're limited on the number of officers that we have to put out there, and from our vantage point, it's hard to see what's going on. And by just having that, you know, it's just, you got a global look now, and you can pick out things. If an officer is in trouble, you can find him a lot easier. I mean, it's very difficult when it gets that dense crowd to see, so it's really a good idea to have that, and the deterrent is huge.
Look, and just to add on that a little bit, it's not that the officers, and a lot of people do really like it, it's very positive, and it's not that the officers sit up there trying to look, hey, there's a guy in a blue shirt over here drinking a beer. That's not really what our purpose is. But the problem is when we get a call and somebody goes, hey, there's a fight, there's a guy there's a person with a gun or a weapon, or there's a large fight, with the officers, as long as you're in the general area, because they do go up so high, we can get better intel to the officers that are on the street or that are on their feet, because they can't see the same thing. We have a lot of missing kids in our beaches area, and when those go out, you know, you do have just that better visual. And the main thing, like I said, we use it for is just basically for intel, so that we have somebody posted up there, so when the calls come in, or if the officer gets in trouble, or you know, anything, it's just a better. When you're looking out to a sea of people and you see a fight, you'll see certain people gravitate to the center, and then you're also going to see where people started backing away now, and that's where we know which way we can send our officers in.
Yes, sir.
I'm almost one of those kids that would be running away. Not me, but I did a lot of bike rides world soon enough. And then I remember what happened 3 years ago with, they shut down the whole city, and that was frightening. And that was folks planning to fight, in Jax Beach who weren't from Jax Beach. So I'm curious, Commander Evans, is there anything we can do to like stop that before it starts? I mean, we've sent letters out to the city of Neptune Beach, before 4th of July, say, hey, look, we're going to take this seriously. Does Jax Beach do that too?
We do, as far as stopping the criminal,
But let them know it's not going to be a welcome place to cause trouble.
Oh, absolutely. And also what we do this past weekend on Sunday and Monday, we have several different groups from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office that come out. We have their gang unit. Our officers, you'll see our officers in uniforms. Our officers will have on either this uniform or if on a bike or a Segway, they might have shorts on. You'll see some of the officers that maybe have an attack gear or something like that. Those are the Sheriff's Office. Those are the different specialized units. Those are not our officers. And they're out there for a specific reason because a lot of the people possibly they're already aware of or they're familiar with them and they can identify them. That's what they work 24 hours a day is that type of thing. As far as with us, all we can do is keep people moving. If you were out Sunday and Monday, I mean, there was a ton of people. We had a ton of officers also. The thing we can do is when the crowd's there, we have the officers on Segways, we have the officers on bicycles, and we have the officers on foot. We'll position our cars either near the Nathan Plaza or near the parking lot, and the officers get out and walk. So really the key to it is just being visible. Other than what they jokingly said earlier is build a wall, it's an open beach, it's a public beach. Our paid parking lots, I feel, work very well. But the paid parking lots, when I got there by 10 o'clock in the morning Sunday, all the paid parking lots were completely full. So then throughout the day, it's only a trickle, 2 cars out, 2 cars in. We have limited parking. You would think that, when a lot of people come out and park their cars and they just loiter. That's all they do. Some people go down to the beach. We do find that a lot of people stand, like I said, on those crossovers, on those walkovers. And myself included, we were clearing those walkovers off as best as we could on Sunday and on Monday. So, and the other thing that we have found that works is when you have a large crowd coming in, the last time and for 4th of July, we'll have traffic units that are hitting those cars for speed violations and that type of thing as they come in. I'm not saying it's a deterrent, but because we have the masses coming in, you want to make sure they're coming in safely as well as they exit safely. So we work on a lot of traffic as well. But if you saw it, you can attest, there's a lot of people.
We also encourage our officers when they're there and they see a person or persons who may not be fighting, but they look like maybe they're going to potentially could lead to a fight, or something's right, they're just not behaving, something's just not right. We encourage them to engage them, before something happens. Engage them, not take them down, or just start talking to them, ask them, just speaking to them. They're free to leave, but once you engage them, it kind of has a way of either turning them off, they'll leave, or they'll think twice about doing something stupid. So the key is just not to stand back and wait for something to happen. Engage these people that you feel like may be going to lead to something inappropriate.
I have a question, Officer Pike. Are you still considering not allowing cars to park on First Street?
Yes, ma'am.
On July 4th?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I haven't seen a fireworks stand here at the beach yet, but I've already got neighbors shooting Roman candles across the street at me. What's legal and what is, as far as fireworks go?
The projected fireworks shoots and explodes is illegal. And anything that spins, stays stationary is legal. They are getting around that, however, at the fireworks stand, making you sign a waiver saying that you are using this for agricultural reasons, shooing birds away from your crops or fruit trees or whatever. So that's how they're able to get away with some of the fireworks that you're seeing. However, people have them left over from last year. Anybody that travels through, I guess, South Carolina still is a big sales spot.
And there's stores here in Jacksonville also.
Yeah. That you can get them along and then sign those waivers. So they are readily available.
hard for the officers to get there with all the traffic on the 4th. But when they go to those calls and they've got the fireworks, they do confiscate them. We've got our barrels that our fire marshal helps us set up. They're all up there, and then they take them down and destroy. So we, every year, I mean, we get barrels out of them.
The second question I've got is that during the summertime, those black shirts must be hell. Why don't you change the white shirts?
You get dirty.
I suspect
Please don't get dirty.
every day anyway.
Yeah, we gotta do that because of the heat.
Yeah, but we also, in Neptune Beach, I'm sure the Jackson Beach and Land Beach has as well, we have a separate ordinance that covers fireworks, for a $75 fine, that we issue those throughout the summer. So, but yeah, they're a problem, and, not only on July 4th, New Year's Eve, same thing. I mean, it sounds like a war zone when you step outside. I heard one of the mortars, I don't know where it was, from my front yard, from my backyard last night. I heard somebody within the distance shooting off what I call the mortars. Boom, boom, real loud. I'm sure they're called, they sound like the mortars is what they call them. I heard those last night, and so it's already started up, just like you said, with Roman candles. So it is a problem. When we get calls, we do it, we shut them down, or even confiscate or issue a citation.
I understand that Jack's Beach has already had some issues with some gang-related, gangs coming out, to the downtown area and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, are you expecting to have gangs out 4th of July, or what do you?
Gangs or the gang unit?
Both.
We prepare for that.
Okay.
So, we have to prepare for the element. So what we do is we just have to make sure officers are educated on it, and like I said, we depend on the sheriff's office because they do assist us with their gang task force, or the gang officers, the ones that work it pretty much all the time. So we do prepare for that. Do I think they're going to come out? I think anytime you have a gathering where you have that many people, if you take a sampling of the people, you're going to have all types of people. So do I think they come out? Absolutely. We just have to prepare for it. Traditionally, we've been seeing a lot of activity on Sundays. I will tell you that all the way from when it got warm and it got cold again, back in March, we worked every Sunday. We worked extremely heavy. We worked extra shifts. We kept day shift over from 5:15 to 8:15, carrying just almost to dusk. And we worked a couple extra shifts that were on overtime. So we do prepare for it because the majority of ours that come out on Sunday.
Do you think it's going to be any different because it's on Monday now, July 4th?
I will tell you that this past weekend, we weren't really sure. On Sunday, when I was there, we saw a lot of different types of people, a lot of different elements out. I will tell you on Monday, Monday was probably our worst day, is what we saw.
Ask about littering. I can travel the beach up and down, and you see trash, and it gets worse on these big weekends. But in particular, when the tide comes in, this past weekend, you just saw bottles just flowing out into the ocean. Is there any chance of actually citing people for littering? I've never seen it done, but I would love to see it if possible.
Yeah, the problem is that, having enough officers to actually see somebody litter and catch it, and then spend the time to cite them. It's almost like a firework code. There's so many of them, we don't have enough officers to handle every one of those complaints and actually get there, you do the best you can. I'm certain if an officer saw somebody litter or throw something down, that he would take action and address it. I'll be telling him to pick it up. And but in most cases, that doesn't happen in the presence. It's a little difficult.
I have another question. So I was out at the beach and I saw somebody with a grill, and is that allowed on the beach?
As long as it's a self-contained grill, absolutely.
Okay.
And
There was no open burning pits or anything.
Yeah, you can't take a fire pit or anything like that, but you can take a grill, self-contained. What we do see some on the weekends is people want to get there near the pier because of the shade. They can't have the grill obviously under the pier for obvious reasons, but they can be out to the other sides.
It just seems when the beach is really packed, that having a grill is just a real danger, but
As long as it's,
allowed.
as long as it's self-contained, I mean, most of the ones, like this past, I saw several, and they were like this, it wasn't like a grill like you would take off a patio, there was across from like a hibachi or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a camping type grill. So,
I just want to ask a question because I'm still only a year and a half here, and we talked about a tropical storm out there. Today is hurricane season started, and since all three of you were there, do we all have to evacuate all the beaches if a hurricane's coming? Is that the?
Yeah, the last time was Hurricane Floyd.
Yes.
And yes, the mayor of Jacksonville, along with the mayor of Neptune Beach, Jax Beach, and Atlantic Beach, all ordered mandatory evacuation.
Okay. And you
Yes.
guys have the police force to get us in the right directions and out of here?
There was zero issue with the evacuation. I mean, if people stayed, they locked the door and shut up the house, because we didn't know they were there. We had no issue, you know, we stationed officers for us, it was at the Atlantic Boulevard Bridge. Nobody came back. Once you left, nobody came back.
And I get some kind of a little thing, yellow, something that says I can come back because I'm.
yeah, basically we do hurricane training. We just completed our first one, which is basically up to the point of the hurricane. We go over all of our department heads, police department, fire department, public works, everybody within the city of Jacksonville Beach. We go over the plan to get everybody out, and then actually our follow-up plan is for during the storm and upon re-entry is next week. And I'm here to tell you the logistics. I mean, we've got everything down to, we've got 82 officers coming from the sheriff's office. We've got this amount of officers. We've got three meals a day as far as how much it's going to take for the water, for the food, from the tents all the way to the porta potties. I mean, all that's prepared for. So,
And the tree cutting services, when Floyd came through, they came through and left, I don't know how many trucks with lifts, you know, the full deal out there, and it came on parking lot. They dropped everything off and they left. When we came back, the officers were, you know, the first to get back then. And they by the time I got back, they were already in gear getting the streets cleaned. And it was a brush, it wasn't directed by any means, but it was, you know, it did knock down several of those old rotten trees. But they actually attending the meeting next week, you know, so we all are working together, you know, along with the city of Jacksonville.
the beach is basically turned into a complex. And then we'll have a complex in Jax Beach where Neptune and Atlantic Beach, as well as a rep from the sheriff's office or the part of Mayport, everybody will be working on our complex. So we'll work as one unit.
Where do most people take off to? Is it like,
Most of them during Floyd, most of them sat out the storm on the interstate. I want to tell a quick story. I had a man, you know, in a station wagon, 2 or 3 kids and his wife. And he said, he turned around, you know, before the storm hit. He said, I've been sitting out there for 14 hours. I'm going, you know, unless you throw me in jail, I'm going home. You know, and you know that's how it was. And you know, most of the people got hung up in.
it depends where the storm's coming from, where you want to go on.
Yeah, so I mean, the key to it is leaving early. If you wait till the last minute, you're going to hit I-95, I-10, and you're going to sit. You know, you're going to hitch along for hours and hours and hours.
Re-entry, I know some people are afraid that they can't get back if they don't have a pass. Isn't it correct that all they have to do is show their driver's license with their address at the beach to get back on
Yes,
there?
ma'am, once they open it up, yes, ma'am.
And it'll depend on a lot. We'll have to make sure, obviously, that everything's safe to come back.
Once they open it up.
Because not only do you have residents, but you also have key business owners that you're going to want to get in there to get their businesses back up and check the status of that as well.
Are the beach cities still issuing re-entry passes?
Yes.
Yes.
And there hasn't been a word about that in the paper recently. I'll bet the newcomers don't know that.
It's in their electric bill with us.
Yeah, and also when we give them out, we give the awareness guides and stuff like that, and handouts too. You're right, I need to check with, make sure they're going out the electric bills with us too. If they are, we'll check on them.
Okay, any other questions then?
Can I ask one more question since you're over there? I happen to live live on 13th South that goes to Baptist Hospital, and we get a lot of trucks going through and cars going fast. And I think it's a problem for the whole beaches, because I know up by Beach Boulevard, there's this big sign, make a right on 13th. And it just makes me feel like everybody's going to go there. And there's little kids, you know, and that are living close to there. I was wondering if anybody comes up with any good ideas. I know when I drive down to Ponte Vedra, they have those signs that flash. And, you know, if maybe we just borrow some of those. Now we're getting a little bit of more police presence because we've written some letters. But if y'all have any guidance on sharing ideas, because I think this is a beach problem since it's kind of an outlet, there's a light, and you go down 9 to Butler, and, you know, there's a lot of people who use the roads.
What we'll do is normally when the complaints come in for traffic, they'll actually come to me. And normally what I do is they're assigned to our traffic unit. There's a couple things we do. A lot of people, everybody wants a stop sign, and everybody wants the kids at play sign, or whatever. And speed bumps.
But we get all the ambulances, and those are fine, because but
Right.
you can't put speed bumps, I know that.
We don't do speed bumps anywhere in our city.
That's fine.
Just because of the wear and tear on the vehicles
For sure.
and for the maintenance and that type of thing. As far as, sometimes what we'll do is we'll put the counters out just to track and see what the count, sometimes you'll see those black tubes on the
Yeah,
street.
we've had them twice.
Yeah, and what we do is when those come back and that data comes back, if it's over the percentage, then we can look at doing other things. But sometimes, even though it may appear that they're going fast, but when we actually look at the raw data and we look at the amount of vehicles and the amount of speeders that we're actually over, sometimes it's not. And that's the reason. And then what we'll do at that point is I'll just instruct the traffic officers, you know, there's certain spots when those complaints come in, we'll send them up there just to work extra traffic.
Would it harm anything like go through trucks?
I'm sorry?
The big delivery trucks and stuff? Would that be a street that would be appropriate for no trucks, maybe? You'll think about it.
I can't say
I'll
that.
write you a letter.
Yeah, I can't say that.
Okay. All right, well, I want to thank Chief Pike and Chief Deal and Commander Evans for being our speakers tonight and for all the information they shared with us, and please join me in thanking them for coming tonight. And we want to thank them and their departments for everything that they did over Memorial Day and everything they're going to do July 4th, because they're not spending time with their families when we are, so we want to thank them for that as well. And just want to remind everybody, our meeting is not the first Wednesday of July, it's July 27th, which is a Wednesday, Fletcher High School Auditorium. Will be a really good meeting. We'll have Mayor Lenny Curry and Bill Gulliford will be there as well, talking about the half-cent sales tax. So we hope you guys will plan to come out. Thank you so much and have a good night.